Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda. There's an amendment to it. We'll need to strike item number 23. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Make the motion to approve as amended.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Number 2, public hearing on lease at landfill. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll move to open. Second.
Are those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Kelly, do you have any written comments?
I do not.
Are there any verbal comments? Again, an explanation. This is a jointly owned facility between the city and the county, as I expressed previously. This is one of the few things that the city and the county, number one, does together. Number two, is actually ran as a business. The landfill is supported strictly from the tipping fees of the county. We are one of the few left that don't use a per capita fee or other form of supplementation from the citizens. So this is the public hearing to lease 20,000 square foot of land at the landfill. It captures the methane gas, turns that methane gas into energy, which is then sold back to the power grid. They'll also do some mining for like Bitcoin. Don't ask me to explain that because I have no clue how that exists or even what it is. So we stand to gain as a landfill about 1.5 million over 10 years, so about 150,000 a year. That as we're continually looking to try to find revenue to keep away from per capita fees and things like that. We're really hoping this is something that comes to fruition and capitalizes and is a good thing for the landfill. So is there any other verbal comments or questions? I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move to close. Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 34, 2024, approving and authorizing execution of a landfill gas license agreement, land lease agreement by and between Vespine Energy Inc. and Wapello County, Iowa.
I'll move to approve 34. Second.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 3, minutes of June 11th, 2024 board meeting. Motion to approve.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 4, resolution number 37, 2024, authorize auditor to pay the claims. This is a yearly thing we have to do going into the next year. This just authorizes the auditor to issue the following payments without prior approval of the board per Iowa Code Section 331.506. After the bills filed with the auditor, freight, express, postage, water, electricity, telephone service, fixed charges for fuel, lubricant for sheriff's office. Also paying salaries, that's fixed compensation for the year. So this just gives the county the ability to pay their claims in a timely manner.
Motion to approve it. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 33, 2024, appropriations for FY 24-25.
Motion to approve it. Second.
Kelly, you want to say anything about this? Just another way to certify the budget, I guess you can kind of say on it again, something that's necessary to do every year before we start the new fiscal year. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 6, alcoholic beverage license with HDWLR LLC for July 10th through July 23rd. And this is for RJ Performance. They do some open house things and some different stuff like that. out of the air base. They've done this in the past as well. Motion to approve it.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 7, alcoholic beverage license for Friends of the Naval Air Station at Tumble Inc. for July 19th, 24 to July 23rd, 2024. And again, this is for an event out at the airport. I'm assuming it's a fundraiser type thing for the Tumble Naval Air Station. Motion approved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 8, Wapello County employee salaries for FY 24-25. Again, it's just a yearly requirement that we pass entering into the new year. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 35, 2024, authorization for payment of group insurance premium for FY 24-25.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 36, 2024, authorized auditor to pay salary personnel for FY 24-25. Motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 11, lease agreement with Infomax Office Systems in the County Attorney's Office. Standard lease agreement that, again, is done by every department.
Move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 12, alcoholic beverage license for Back Pocket Brewing LLC for July 15th, 2024 to July 29th, 2024. This is part of RAGBRAI. They'll set up this like the Iowa beer tap room, sort of, yeah, it's a trailer. So, yes. Any questions or comments? All right, need a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 13, 2024 Commercial Wind Energy Conversion Systems County Ordinance with Allers and Cooney PC. This is, we're going to enter into an agreement with Allers and Cooney to, I guess you could say, kind of start over with the wind turbine.
Yeah, they're gonna write the
Ordinance. They've got a lot of experience with it. I think they've done several of the counties. So hopefully this is something they can bust through pretty quick, and we can get some things rolling on it. Anybody?
Question, it's 295 per hour, but is there any estimate on the cost?
They're not, because Wapello County has 0 ordinances for turbines, so start there too. And they typically get them done for around 5 to 10.
Because you're saying 5 to 10,000.
Yeah. Okay. Just depends on how much detail we have and how much throwback they have.
Thank you.
And this is something I think, been working on now for about 6 months. And then as you read different ordinances or different things or different concerns come up, you start looking at those and adding things in or taking something out and getting feedback from all different directions. And we are not experts in wind energy or solar energy or anything along those lines. And the number one thing that we definitely want to do is make sure that we're protecting the property owners of Wapello County as much as anything. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
Yes. Real quick. Good to see you guys again, Jared Hirschberger with, how's that? All right. Yeah, Jared Hirschberger with Dusty Fox Wind. We've been pursuing this project for over a year now. So we've seen a lot of landowner interest. In fact, so much that I think a lot of this project could be built in Wapello County. So the landowners here and the county itself could see quite a bit of the benefits from the project. This is the way direction you guys think you should take. I think we worked with the process in good faith. But if this is the direction you guys want to take, we're still here to do so. And any questions, concerns you guys have, we're pretty much an open book. We'd love to sit down with you guys individually and kind of show you the land we have and if there's maybe some questions about the lease, we could probably answer some of those as well. We don't make a lot of that information public because we have proprietary information. We are a private business at the end of the day. So I think that's it for me. If you guys have anything else for me.
No, I don't think there was anything as far as feelings that you guys acted in bad faith or anything else. It's again, start talking to other counties and different things that happen from, a turbine exploding and getting into a hay field and, the fiberglass being rolled into hay and, killing cattle or things like that. Things you'd never think of, in 1,000 years. And just trying to make sure with all the information we have that all the bases are covered.
Sure.
And when something does come up, that it's addressed.
Absolutely. I just want to remind you guys that we are here to answer your questions. We have a lot of experience working with ordinances and all these questions have come up. I have some good. We actually did a kind of a forum in Taylor County, Iowa, where we have another project. I'll send that to you guys. I think it's very helpful. We took a lot of questions from the public at that event. I think we will do something like that here eventually. We just don't have that time.
Well, hopefully this is something again, callers. I think you've worked with callers and stuff through some of these ordinances as well. And they kind of have, I don't definitely want to say a blanket one, but they've dealt with this a lot. So hopefully this is something that
I think the big one for us though is setbacks.
Right.
Setbacks, you push those setbacks back too far and it becomes hard to build a project and you limit the landowners that can be part of the project. So we have it 1250. I think we probably have some room to work there. Our standard is 1250, but that's something we're definitely willing to work together.
very good.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Is there any other questions? Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 14, transfer funds from general supplemental 02 to employee health fund 85 in the amount of $15,000. This has just kind of been a standard transfer from supplemental into the employee health fund. It's nice to see it down to about 15,000 instead of 200,000 or 150,000. I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 15, appointments to the WCVA, Wapello County Veterans Administration Commission. We got two. Commissioner Lewis, Commissioner Livingston, correct?
That is correct.
So it was approved by the Veteran Commission to reappoint Commissioner Lewis and Commissioner Livingston. New terms expire 6/1 of 2027. On vote. Move to approve.
No changes. No. Comment done?
No, we asked
I
about.
just want to make sure the email addresses were going to stay the same and there weren't any changes.
Want to make sure Don went trying to get out of it.
Any other questions or comments? As always, appreciate you guys for your time and your efforts to the veterans of Wapello County and the veterans yourself. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 16, purchase a barrier for trails. This was something that was approached from Ken Helge with the Trails Council, something we talked about when we redone the Wabash Walk Bridge to do our best to try to keep motorized vehicles. Right now, the side-by-sides, and I think that you're going to see probably the city pass an ordinance to allow golf carts on roads, things like that. Getting a lot more of those on the trail system and on those bridges and the tunnels. They're not allowed on it for obvious reasons with the bridge as far as ratings and insurance reasons. So this is to purchase barriers, and they do bolt down. I talked to Phil Rath at the city, kind of a partnership with them. We would purchase 8 of the barriers. That would cover the Wabash Bridge on each end, and that would cover the 2 tunnels, and then they'd be installed by the city crews. So, kind of a joint project with it, and the total of it's $1,500. So, not a big amount, and I think our insurance company, especially with the Wabash Bridge, would be thrilled for us to have something there to keep vehicles off of it.
Move to approve.
You know, if they're gonna do anything on the trails, keep them on the trails.
They're not, there's already signed as normal guys. So, yeah, they're not supposed to be on there now.
Second.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 17, discussion of Wapello County Rural Fire Truck. Mr. Zinn.
Thank you. Just an update on this, and then we can decide if we want to do something in the future. They have been attempting to get a loan through USDA. And that process has been ongoing. The answer is not a no yet, but the time that they've consumed is somewhat absurd in my opinion. And so we still could do something as the Wapello County Supervisors. They have grants and several other sources. The total of the project is $550,000 approximately. They still need about $350,000. That's what we would ask USDA for. So the question for us is, do we want to assist them? We've done this in the past with the building and a fire truck years ago. I talked to Kelly about different ways to structure the deal. If she has any opinion on this, that would be appropriate. That would be hear from you. Otherwise, that's where we're at.
Kelly, do you have anything?
Oh. But then, like, and what the way that it's happened in the past is the fire department will do, like, they make the payment directly to them. So then they would have to make. I guess I don't know if we have to do with that levy, then I would think that we would have to do something because we have, I mean, we have to.
And the intent is not a gift. The intent is that they would be able to make the loan. So, and the challenge that they're having right now is interest rates are high. They can afford 5%, but it would be hard to afford 8%, 10%. So that's their challenge at this point.
And like I said, we've done it in the past. I think it's worked fine in doing it. I have no problem helping when it comes to if we borrow the money and they pay it through. Kelly, on the debt service, is it possible to put revenue in on debt service?
So that's the way that we do it currently with
Okay.
the 911 tower whenever we did our last bonding.
Okay.
And so right now we're not levying anything for the debt because the county has paid off their portion. But the 911 still has money to pay on the tower. So we have enough money in our debt fund to cover if 911 couldn't make the payments. But currently, right now, as they make the payment to us, we put it in the debt levy fund and then we pay we make the payment.
Well, I know we can't really act on this today, but we could plan for this to show up on a future agenda. So that might be the question.
But I think, yes, absolutely. I think if we agree today that we are in favor of helping them through bonding and stuff, I think that can get the ball rolling on that, if that's the direction they want to go. And there's a lot of work with the bonding attorneys and stuff like that that needs to be done, so.
Yeah, we need to know what the fire department can afford. Have we covered all avenues with Tim Richmond?
Yes. Yeah, Tim's been involved in this process. And the Waco County Fire Department is not part of Waco County as far as legally. However, it serves in a large area, the rural area, and it provides mutual aid to every area of the county. So just recently we loaned a fire truck to Hedrick because they were down a fire truck. So it's that kind of thing that we're helping to support here too.
I guess probably our next step is if we're gonna do that, then I can get a hold of Allers and Cooney and just try to get an estimate of like what a payment would be, what their fees would be. And to see, I guess, if the rural fire department has the funds to take care of all of it.
Yeah. Or we can't really make a motion today to correct or anything because it's for discussion. So
I mean, I can
Then
get,
we can give direction.
yeah. In the form of a motion or
No, just give direction.
okay. So let's have Kelly proceed with some investigation.
I'm good with that.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else? Moving on, number 18, replacement of unit at the law center. Don?
It's one of the original HVAC units, part of it went out last week. And, it's, one of the inmate pods areas, so the temperature's kind of raised up to where we're having to put fans in there and stuff, but I reached out to the contractor. He said that it would be a temporary fix if they were able to find the part, because it's one of the original units that were put on there over 20 years ago. So their recommendation, I guess mine is to replace that unit. I think it's around 32,000.
31,000. 31,000 and some change.
Make the motion to approve.
Second.
Don, can you give just a brief, and I learned this the other day talking to Marty about it as far as jail conditions and, you know, if it's 80 degrees in there and different steps the jail has to take, that it's not really one of those where you're watching, say, Cool Hand Luke and they're in there sweating and eating hard-boiled eggs, but there's certain things now you gotta do to ensure the safety of the inmates.
There's certain guidelines that the state requires, for administrative law. It's, once the temperature reaches 85 degrees within the facility, they have to provide, cold drinks, fans, which we've gotten fans and have them down there, and they're providing the cold drinks now. And it still hasn't quite reached, I was 81 in there yesterday. So, we hope to get this unit in here quickly and get it installed, but that's part of the requirements that we have. You know, another thing I was going to talk to you guys about was, you know, I think we're at 94 or 97 this morning, and we have another 38 farmed out right now.
38.
Yeah, we have 18 in Henry County and 20 in Davis County. You know, it's at $50 a day. You know, just if they were there a month, that's over $50,000. I think that's about what I don't even remember what we budgeted, but I don't think it's anywhere close to that. So it's
80 or 90 sound right?
that we budgeted.
I thought that's what we did. So I thought we've raised that the last few years.
Well, I'd honestly,
We can look at it. But
yeah, I'd have to honestly look at it. I didn't think we had raised it up that high, but maybe we did. But it's, you know, we're working with the county attorney's office and the courts and Department of Corrections are trying to alleviate some of this cost, but I don't think it's gonna be a big relief for us here, you know.
People just need to stop committing crime, would be okay.
I totally agree with you. It's a simple solution, but some folks just can't seem to get it.
What's the jail capacity?
Well, we can hold 148, but 33 of those are intake area.
Okay.
The issue that you run into, so you're still thinking, well, you still got 100 and whatever numbers there, but it becomes down to classification too. You know, some of these individuals have conflicts with other individuals outside of here, and we try and get them into areas where, you know, they're not going to have those conflicts, but it kind of runs into an issue with that. So.
And then you always keep the most violent, so.
Yeah, we don't push the troubled inmates to these other counties. You know, we try to push, if they're in on parole violations, the Department of Corrections pays us for those. So we try to put those folks with Henry County or Davis County, try to farm them out so they can just get the money from the DOC instead of us paying them. So that's what we try to do, but sometimes, you know, if there's a probation or excuse me, a parole violation, they may have another warrant for another crime that they committed. And so they don't pay when that other crime's on the book there. Till that case is resolved, and then maybe they're on the parole violation, they don't pay for them until that other charge is taken care of. So it's kind of so we're, like I said, we're working with everybody involved to try and take care of some of that, but it's, most of us know that wheels of justice don't move very quickly. So
we're trying to make it so that people that have a parole violation, they are only in on the parole violation so that we don't pay for it. But I know the problem with that too is we're not always certain what the recommendation from the parole board is going to be. So like they have charges Texas going back to prison, then that's okay. We'll drop the warrants and deal with that while they're in prison and safe for the public. But sometimes that's not necessarily the case. The parole board can't revoke them until the new charges complete or something like that. And we don't want them to complete it at that time. So that's also kind of the problem that we're running into on our side of trying to move people not pay for them.
it's definitely a juggling act.
Yeah.
Everybody has to do to try and, you know, keep the community safe.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, and we'll pay for the replacement of this unit out of local option sales taxes. We have a motion. Can we do that?
I have a question.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 19, set date for first reading for ordinance for Ragbri. This is July 9th. This is just a standard ordinance going back to one that the county used. I believe it was in 2009, and really it's just kind of one of those areas that helps protect the county and gives kind of some boundaries for setting up stands or people want to have a beer license or outdoor events, different things like that. Really, again, it's just more of a protection of the county than it is anything else. Make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 27, 2024, abate taxes for Greater Tacoma Development Foundation and exempt organization. So this is for the property located on the Alta Vista site, where the St. Joe Hospital used to be, if you remember. That property, the city, the county, Legacy Foundation, and GoFib all went together on that. And I think all in total paid about $50,000 to secure that property, and we paid a little bit through mowing and different things like that. Greater Atomo Development Foundation is an exempt organization. So we will abate these taxes, and this would be a 2-year abatement on this one before we'll have to come back and do it again. Motion.
Accepted.
I'll second.
Any further comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 28, 2024, abate taxes for Indian Hills Community College. And this is a 1-year abatement. The college does not pay taxes, and this was a property that was purchased from the city of Atumwa in 2024 for the construction tech program. Again, this will be a 1-year abatement, so we'll have to do this again next year.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 22, resolution 38, 2024, procurement policy. John, this had your name on it?
Those for conservation.
Great, okay.
District.
That allows him not to turn in so many bills at one time. He can take his time and stand up and talk us through so everybody understands.
Yeah, and some of the federal grants we've been getting, because it's federal money, they've got these rules, they we utilize, let us fall back on the county policy, but if you don't have the county policy, then they want to go to like a federal policy. And their federal policy is like advertise for 2 weeks, have to have at least 3 bidders, don't have 3 bidders, advertise for 2 weeks, 3 more bidders, advertise for 2 weeks. And a lot of times we advertise the paper legal notices, we have a price for bids. We honestly don't get a lot of response from that. I think a lot of your contractors, especially like your dirt contractors, are so busy. They say, well, I got too much to do right now. So we physically have to often call them and email them to get 4 or 5 or 6 bidders. We'll always do bidders, but federal government doesn't recognize calling them or emailing them. They want it in the paper. So this just makes it so that we can get the projects done and move forward instead of being delayed, because our procurement policy says that anything less than 10,000 less, we don't have to do that. Move to 20, a lot of our projects are falling between 12, 13, 15, 16,000. That allows us to do the same that we do under 10, but it just makes it a lot easier for us to work with our federal money.
Thank you. Motion accepted.
I'll second.
Any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 24, personnel, request for payroll approval, new hire interpreter at DHS. And this is a budgeted position that's just being filled.
Move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? B, request for payroll approval, new hire conservation aid. Is this a change of employment?
No, this was vacancy. You know, we had someone last year, they didn't come back, somebody new, same part-time person for the summer.
Very good, thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request for payroll approval, change of employment, office manager conservation.
Yeah, our office manager now also be outreach coordinator, we're doing a lot more on social media. Rhythm, draw people to Buffalo County, so because of the other workload that she has, you know, everything says she should justify a little bit more money.
This just make her an office manager more or less. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Request for payroll approval, new hire conservation tech.
Just filling a position that was vacant after someone left our department back in Thanksgiving, and so we refilled that position.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Number 25, other business to come before the board. Third quarter cash report for auditor's office FY 23-24. Need a motion to accept and file. Motion to accept.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And B, treasurer's investment report, May 2024. Need a motion to accept and file.
Motion accepted.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other business come before the board.
My name is Tricia Essick. I am the retired reference librarian from the Ottumwa Public Library, a member of the Ottumwa Civil War Roundtable and the Wapello County Genealogical Society. I wanted you to be aware of the construction of a pioneer cemetery in Wapello County. I have a packet of information for each of you, if it's okay to approach the bench, as
Absolutely.
Perry Mason would say. Cemetery.
Would you mind going to that microphone there so that way they can hear you?
Cemetery that I'm speaking about that was destroyed a year ago is the Williams Cemetery. It's located near the Chillicothe Turnoff on the south side of the road. It only had from 12 to 15 burials in it. It dates to 1848. Our county was opened in 1843, so it's nearly as old as the county itself. And it has a unique distinction, and that is it is the burial place of Curtis King. King, at age 81, enlisted in the Civil War as part of the 37th Iowa Graveyards. He is the oldest soldier of the 3 million soldiers who served in the Civil War. He is the oldest of them all. The first piece of paper that you have there in your packet is from the most recent book about Wapello County cemeteries. It is Paul Kesselring's work. He did a survey of the cemeteries in Wapello County in the early 1980s. Leanne Lemberger took his information and added photographs, and this is the photograph for Williams Cemetery. In 1994, this plaque was placed next to Curtis King's grave. Also, a fence was placed around the cemetery as well. In the next handout number 2, you can see the fence in the upper picture. This was placed in 1997 by the Wapello Questers and the Ottumwa Civil War Roundtable, a donation from members of the Wapello Questers group. The rest of the cemetery, the stones from that cemetery were mostly flat down in the ground. It wasn't maintained in any way by the township trustees or any other group. The lower picture shows the cemetery stones. The handout is from a book published by the Iowa Genealogical Society, compiled by the Wapello County Genealogical Society, which has information on some of the burials that were there. Primarily, they were Williams family members. However, there were at least 3 kings, Curtis King himself and 2 of his sons. The information that's printed there was probably difficult to read on the stones, and it's not exactly accurate. Each of the sons lived only a very, very short time and were buried as infants. When I first became aware of the cemetery being destroyed a year ago, I believe Mr. Jim Durst contacted Supervisor Morgan first early last spring. And I contacted Supervisor Morgan in August. He referred me to the county engineer, Jeff Scalbert. Jeff went out to the site and surveyed it. He did find a piece of gravestone and some tree and brush debris along the fence line. He also talked to Mr. Perry Middlesworth, who's the township trustee for that township. Mr. Middlesworth said that the township was not maintaining that cemetery, but he was very aware of it because his grandparents had lived at that farm when he was growing up. His grandmother had told him about the people buried around the tree and even told him there were Native American burials there as well. Mr. Scalbert concluded that he didn't know if there was much the county could do about it. On the second page of handout 4 is my response to him. I did send him excerpts from the Iowa cemetery law. And with that, he said that's beyond his level of expertise, so he forwarded my concern to County Attorney Ruben Neff. Handout number 5 shows you the Iowa Cemetery Act, and I highlighted the area that says a governmental subdivision having a cemetery or a burial site that is not located within a dedicated cemetery within its jurisdiction for which preservation is not otherwise provided, shall preserve and protect the cemetery or burial site as necessary to restore or maintain its physical integrity as a cemetery or burial site. I believe the governmental subdivision refers to Wapello County. Section 2 there does prescribe a punishment for people who deface or destroy a cemetery. Mr. Neff, as you will see in the last handout, quotes some other legal cases that had to do with destruction of cemetery. So he concurred that yes, Wapello County is responsible for that cemetery. I responded to him with a little information about the background of the cemetery, as I told you this morning. And his last, he directed Mr. Stalberg to contact the Sheriff's Department to investigate. In his last email back to me, on the last page, he says, I will call the sheriff to discuss this matter to make sure it happens. I don't know what happened after that. That was in October. I tried to contact Mr. Neff again a couple of times via email. He did not respond. And the last time I tried to contact him was early spring, and he resigned a week later. I waited a few weeks thinking maybe the new county attorney would be able to give me some information. So I stopped at the county attorney's office. The county attorney was in court that day. The receptionist told me that after I explained to her why I was there and asked for an appointment with the county attorney, consulted with some of her colleagues and came back and told me the county attorney does not speak to people. So here I am back before you with this concern about this cemetery that was destroyed. It's a unique cemetery because of that connection with Curtis King. He is known throughout the country for being the oldest soldier in the Civil War. And I think we owe it to those people, those pioneers of our county so long ago, to make sure that they rest in peace.
Don, it says on here that Dahlberg forwarded the message to Martin Wonderland. Do you remember anything about this? Was you involved with any of this?
I had a conversation with Jeff. We were gonna go out there and look at it. And I think it slipped off his, because I told him, let him know when he's going to go out there. And, but I've never been out.
This is where they found a couple of markers.
I think in one of your pictures here, it has some markers in a pile.
That was earlier though. Right now,
That tree-
last summer when I noticed that there was a field of corn.
That tree's
That
gone
tree is
now.
gone. The rest of the stones are gone. I assume bulldozer.
Have you been out there, Ray?
I hear quite a bit. I know a lot of the things.
That is his grave. That is his grave. There is some dispute among local historians about whether his grave was moved when the road and the railroad were moved back in the 1920s or sometime 100 years ago. But that is his grave there, plus the monument that says he's the oldest Union soldier. There's another plaque on the fence that indicates he's the oldest soldier of all in the Civil War, as confirmed by Chief Historian of the National Park Service, Ed Bars.
I do see quite a few people stop there, believe it or not, when you go by. Because I know there's a whole bunch of individuals that follow around and look for all those areas, just document it and stuff. And I time to time by try to see 2 or 3 cars there at that site.
So I guess yes, sir.
She said very much, but that's who I am. I didn't come here for that, but when we was kids, I'll say 60 years ago, there was no fence around any of it back then, you know, and there was really no stones that were standing up, you know, back then. But I'm sure, you know, it was pasture back then, you know, it's, they could be out there a big area, and they could be, closer to the railroad tracks, where they've already, you just don't know. He asked me if I thought they could go ahead and dig it up. I said, why would you want to leave it alone? But I told him there was the big tree he was talking about. That tree was there back then, but I can't say if there's any snow there. Because we just can't. And it's been in the last few years that people did anything. When the road came through, I was working for the construction company. DOT said they want to get stones for their gate.
I haven't spoken to the landowner or investigated or anything. My question would become, as you said, when the stones were laying down 50 or 60 years ago.
I don't even know how many it was.
Was there malice in moving the stones or flower, or turning this into pasture, or what was known or what was known with it? I don't know. It'd be a better question for the county attorney. That's what she does, but is how do you reprimand, or how do you? So I get two questions. Number one, if there was malice, for this being done, how do you prove it? Whatever. The other side of it is, what can we do to, as you said, helping people know that there was or is, people buried in there, is in another, area, plaque, stone in there that says, Williams Cemetery, with.
There is no marker that describes that area as the Williams Cemetery. And I don't think anybody is interested in punishing
Sure.
the landowner. That's not, it's just that is a sacred place.
Sure.
People who love history, and love Wapco County are concerned because it's no longer there.
Right.
Even though it didn't have rows and rows of gravestones standing out, even though they were laying down in the grass, they were still there, and it was still a place family members could visit. There are descendants of Curtis King living in Ottumwa. And so, where did they go?
Sure.
Curtis's grave is stayed because of that iron fence around it, but the rest are gone.
Would you suggest a plaque of some sort? Do you have? I think I've seen in here some possible names of some people buried in there.
It would probably be impossible to put the names on. I mean, I think at the least the gravestones should try to be retrieved from the fence line and the creek or wherever they got pushed off to. And maybe a little memorial could be made right next to Curtis King's grave that said the Williams Family Cemetery, and maybe a tree plant even to take the place of the one that was built. Something like that.
It's the stuff that there. You look, there's pretty growing. If that's what we was. He didn't walk out there. More than one.
Really appreciate to write up kind of a plan or a proposal that we can take a look at. And then my thought is, could we, under the conservation responsibility to maintain as a site?
The county does mow the site right now. The Curtis King portion of the site. I
That's
believe.
the road, is that the road?
That-
Yeah. The road, okay.
Yeah. For a long time after Curtis was rediscovered back in the early 90s, volunteers from the Civil War Roundtable and the Buffalo Questers took turns. And then gradually everybody got a bit older and couldn't do it anymore. And there was an article in the Courier, I think in 2014, whose responsibility is this old soldier's grave? And so the county began mowing it after that. So I think the county's been mowing it. Fingers.
Is that the county or the
That's what
trustees?
Young goes out there.
It's usually the trustees.
We didn't, we asked.
Well, I think there definitely needs to be some type of marker for, you know, the Williams Cemetery, but there are people buried in that area as well. And as you said, there's a lot of these minor cemeteries. I didn't realize there's one out behind the county, or the old county home, you know, clear back in there, you get Wyman, and there is a little fence around it, but yeah, a lot of areas that people don't know about. Stevie?
I'd just like to clarify, we do talk to people at our office. We just, I mean, she might have misunderstood, but I mean, right now I'm working 5 days a week, so it's just, we have a limited amount of attorneys sometimes, but we do talk. Another option. is to check with-
There are references throughout, in plat maps. The DOT has placed historic site signs along the highway, so it is documented.
It was documented on the record, so I'm not sure where it's at. Try to retrieve the markers on the back. See if we can put things around it.
I don't think any of us have an issue with that. So, stay in touch, like I agree with Brian, you'll kind of get an idea of something you'd like to see, you know, as far as the plaque, we can retrieve some of the stones like Darren said, and bring them up and just kind of make a little area there.
I'll bring it to the Genealogical Society and Civil War Roundtable. Be in
Great,
touch. Thank you
very
so
good,
much.
yep, thank you, absolutely. Other issues or questions come before the board? Yes.
Brian, I had a question about your fire truck. What's the fleet of the county's rural fire department right now? What's the fleet?
Yeah, the fleet is, there's 2 pumpers, 1 tanker, and then there's, 2, what do we call them, like brush trucks or grass fire trucks, 4-wheel drive pickups. And there's another vehicle that's used for accidents, EMS.
So would this be a replacement or just a new apparatus for the park?
In my opinion, it would be
It'll be a
a 2-in-1. Very. We talked about.
So would this be a pumper then that you guys?
Yes, it'd be a pumper tanker.
the upper tank. Yes.
Good. Anything else to come before the board? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.